We've got some buckets here. We'll go down the well. Now you see where the tape measure is there. We need to dig a trench. This step here is in line with that tape measure up there. The plan of that is for the sump drain, because I said we're going to do this earlier in the year on the flood video. We need to remove this floor in here, all this floor coming out. When I wasn't keeping an eye on the water level, this actually flooded a few years ago. I think it came up to probably about this height here in the room. Okay, I'm in my old bunker here. This is in the future. There's a big hole in the floor, look, which we'll get to in this video. But just to let you know, this video is sponsored by Jackery, and also it's part 3. Part 1 and 2, I've been playing around with this radiator cooling system as well as the pump we're doing. So if you don't understand where we are at any points, there is 2 parts before this. You get the idea. I'm making a free aircon system that feeds that room at the other end. Enjoy. If we take the floor out, I can remove these pipes out of here and run them down here as we have a look. So as we come round the corner, you see here, you can see that, I know it's quite dark, my drain hole. So come straight across, straight down here. There is just starting to be some water coming out of here, but there's a lot of debris. We want to clear it out down the bottom, because I did originally concrete when I put this staircase in. I think I concreted the whole thing. Some interesting stuff, let's get on with it. Just check out the staircase, look. That is definitely ready for a bit of cleaning up. So, if you remember, I 3D printed this fitting because I lost the one down the stairs. Hopefully today we'll find that and fix that properly. Drill a hole here maybe. Fasten that pump up through that step and put that pipe going up to where we're drilling a hole through the side. Let's try and minimise the mess. Annoying, I've just got my lawn half alright, now I'm going to dig it all up, but this better to do it now than when we're flooding. Now there is a chance some cables here, so you watch out for them. That big rope was buried. I don't remember burying that, but it was strong still because the digger wouldn't even pick it up. So I've not dug right next to the well because I've just got to watch out for that cable, because I'm pretty sure that light and this light are joined together with a cable around the outside. So at this point, I think I can't find the cable. So after a bit of hand digging, I get bored. What do? I get the digger out and dig it. That was a mistake. Okay, that's dug. Down to this point here, look at this. Oh, we're here, should we check them lights are still on? That one's on. That one's on. This one isn't on. I thought when I'd done the first foot I was in the clear, but I hand dug to there. It was just a lot lower than I thought, wasn't it? So I got my drill. That's all connected up to Jackery. Like I said before in this video, everything's powered by the Jackery that we can. Let's get drilling. So I've got no sign of that drill. Maybe I should have drilled upwards as well. Let's get the man's drill bit out now. We have light. I'm hoping this will go in this hole. Next job, let's get this cable fixed. It doesn't look too bad, does it? So that's the joiner put together. So it's time to clear up down the bottom of this well. First of all, let's pick that newt up. Right, can we see him? Is he alive? Hello? Do you reckon he's alive? Let's get him upstairs. Look, he's gone. We've saved the newt. Remember the buckets, don't we? The first buckets I used. There's actually not much stuff in here, to be honest. Lasted about once and all the handles fell off. concerns down here. As well as the well is sliding sideways, the staircase seems to have dropped about 40 mil. We need to investigate that, so I might have to jack it back up somehow. That roof up the top is probably about a ton on it, plus the staircase weight itself. I'm not sure if my concrete was as good as maybe it could have been. Right then, let's take this bucket out. I think I filled it up a little bit too much here. This is so heavy. I could make like a winch system. I think one more bucket we're going to be finished. So sometimes it is better just to suffer on a little bit, and you can get there. Just lift it 2 steps at a time, mate. That's it, last few steps, do it in one. 25-foot climb, done. One more. So we have concrete floor, look. Much better. We can now install the radiator. So now we're cutting a tank out to put the radiator in the bottom of the well to sink it in, so we can put water in the tank, and when it gets to the point where the water rises in the well, it will drop over the top and just be the same water. In summer, it'll have its own water, which the air will cool down around the outside of the metal tank. Does that make sense? I think it'll work. Cut this out, fold the edges, and we're going to rivet it together and use some sealant to hopefully make it watertight. For the sealer to work, dirty side up is the best way, I think. Rotate it round, so you do that side, then this side. And then you can finish off this side, without having to mess around with your V's or your tool. Like that. So the tank's roughly held together with these Tech screws. Now time to get riveting. That's all riveted up, look. I know what you're going to say, that's going to leak like a sieve, Dave, which is correct, it will do, right? So we're going to run sealer in the corners, the water's going to push the sealer out, which should seal it. Why? Now you're going to ask me the question, why didn't you just weld it? Because that would have been better. Yes, that would have. I could have sealed it easier that way. But this is galvanised steel. When you cut it with a plasma, it reseals the edges, so no rust at all on any of these edges. Stainless steel rivets. This shouldn't corrode. This is going to be underwater a lot, don't forget. If I start welding this out of anything, apart from stainless steel, it's just going to end up a right mess. That's all sealed. Sorted. Okay, let's drill this. Get this pipe to come through this step. Bit of lube. The pipe is going there, straight here, right at this edge here. And away we go. WD-40 in my face. I hate it when the drill bit just slides back in. In fact, it's Friday. I think I'm going for a beer. We'll continue this later. So while we wait for that resin to go off, let's go and check on our sponsors today, Jackery, see how the backup power is doing. So this is a Jackery V3000 portable power station. If you need power on the go, this is the machine for you. 3,600 watt of output, 3,000 watt hour of power. I've connected this with the solar panels at the other end, and we're using it as backup power. 202 watts input and 52 watt output power. I keep saying it's going to be a free air conditioning system. How can it be free if it uses power? This is my plan. You've got your pump here. We turn that on. And so far, including all the lights, we're only at 79 watt output. So a really cool feature on the Jackery, we can remotely turn the 240 or the 12 volt system off. So if I turn the 240 off here, press this button, as you can see, the lights are off. Turn it back on, the lights are back on. We've got the fan here with the speed control. On the Jackery, we've got 3 240 volt sockets, and you've got the 12 volt output here as well as your phone chargers. Got the DC power on, turn it off on the app. As simple as that. Turn it back on the app. So I can control this aircon using my app. So how do I explain the 3600 watt output? We're going to have to do some welding. This welder's welding 3mm plates with an output of 3300 watts, and it can run this for approximately 55 minutes with the 3 kilowatt hour battery. So if you want one of these portable power stations, a 3000 V2, at the moment for £1 you can get the 200 watt of solar. It's a great deal. Links in the description. Thanks for the sponsorship. Let's get back on the video. Tried to make them plastic 3D printed adapters to go from the water pipes to 15mm, and they're sealing the plastic end radiator but not on the aluminium end, which is in the Range Rover. So I've come to my scrapyard, and here's another Range Rover with one of these on it. So hopefully we can get that off. Oh. So the next part I need to try and get right is these pipes, and after a lot of playing around positioning, I've tried thinking of different ways of doing it. One option was to come down and through here, which I sort of like the idea of, but it doesn't look very good going around the arch. So what I've come up with, it needs to have 3 pipes, so that's just 1 pipe cut in half, is put 3 down here, drill the second brick up at the bottom, but to get to that point, which is right over there, I've got to get through this insulation along the bottom of this side all the way along, and we'll remove the floor at the other end, poke them through, put them through the drain, and then get that radiator down the bottom in its tank that we've made. So I'm just 3D printing the last version of this, which goes into the rubber, which we just got off the Range Rover, and that bit fits inside, which is going on the end of the pipe. Let's try and make a bit of a path through here to get some pipes. Right, we have a big hole now. I'll drill the brick, hopefully without chipping all the brick. Get 3 holes in there, and then we can poke a pipe on the end of a bit of flexi up and hook them on. Yeah, I'm using these fittings, and I know I should be soldering on the corners, but I'm not a plumber. I'm a fabricator, and I haven't got all the gear for that, but I've got a spanner. So criticise me all you like, but I think it looks quite nice with a bit of a fitting on. 3D printer's done. The pipe's now connected through here. I'll start clipping them on. We've got a hide to start off with, so we're out the way of the guide for the wheel. And then we're going low down this, and got these little clips we're going to put, as the tunnel car sets off down the hill, we're going to put them every 2 supports, I think. So there, we want one. After a load of work, look, the pipes are looking great. They're now connected through there, up there, round there. The pipe nearest to me is the drain pipe, which I'm going to try and thread the wire up as well, so it's like multitasking. We'll get a bit of thin cable to run it all, hopefully. Radiator's out because I'm on the 10th attempt now of trying to make these adapters. This one's done. I've ended up using the hose obviously off the Range Rover to do it properly, and they're sealed. I've pressure tested them. I run it up to my tap and put a blank on the end. So while running like 1 bar of pressure, whatever the water pressure is. This pipe here needs to go down this one bit. I've also drilled the one below it, down here. So we now need to cut this pipe down, get it up here, don't we? Cutters are down the other end. Right, I'm back. Cut this right here. Poke this further down. That goes like that. Nice cut. That's got to go in there. So this on first, and that, and that, and this. Now this is the hard part. Should have done this one first. So now put that there. That's done. That's to there, through there, and down we go through them 2 steps. So I've got the pump here. The fitting that I found back down the bottom of the well that I'd lost originally 3D printed. So we never actually used the 3D printed one because it never actually flooded. Pop them on and actually physically feel the actual thing pop in. Because this is where everyone has the leaks. Well, they don't check that bit. So hopefully this is going to go like there. See that last bit there? It's really hard to get that in if you don't take the fitting apart first. Not saying it's the right way of doing things, but it's how I do it. So that's in. See this? That click there. So the water starts pumping. The water gets pumped out about this height. The step is there, look. We're about 4 foot to the step before the pump even works. So the final part we need to do is get the pipes through here. This floor has gone soggy. We need to fix this floor. I'm thinking about concreting it possibly, I'm not sure yet. I'll just pull this side up, we'll try and get through and try and connect to that drainage channel. So, let's get Jim. Well, there's no doubt in my mind this floor is getting concreted. Bigger grinder time. Now it looks to me like there's a big void under here. I seem to remember that's how I left it. I've got like a full-on area we can get underneath here. Look at that for a gap. And as if by magic, look at this. I can run these pipes across here, drill a hole through the floor here, We're in a bit of a mess down here. I've just had to use that pipe to fill it up, disconnect the top. Nothing was leaking, but whilst taking the top off, it was spraying water to the roof because of the weight of gravity off this pipe here that goes all the way to the top, as you can see. So I bled it out of there. That's still connected. So I'm just trying to put a screw in to fasten these pipes, look. We're right up here in the well. So it would appear that this is full of water. No wonder it's sunk a load. It's just got a load heavier on it. I think we need a drain at the bottom, don't you? I could have just poked the pipe straight down into this, couldn't I? I didn't need the radiator down here, did I? That is serious amounts of water coming out of there. So that's the radiator tank done, look. So I'm just bleeding this up now, and you can check on here. So they are 11 degrees at the bottom. So I've had this pump running all day. Obviously this needs mounting properly. That'll be future video. But can you see here, look, down the tunnel, you can see the heat. Do the pipes show up here, look? Can you see the two pipes there? So they're both warm. See the pipes here, look. So they have warmed up. So I do feel the radiator's not fully efficient. I've had this running all day, which it is cold down the other end, but is this tank too hot? Yeah, so the tank is 13 degrees, whereas the rest of it's 10. So although it looks really hot, it's not mega hot. This will be so much better once it's got some water down the bottom. So we've got the jackery down the other end. We're connected via Bluetooth, which is pretty awesome to go this far. We can turn the AC on, which is going to bubble away in a second, hopefully. Well, remember, Jackery have just told me I've got a new discount code, Tornado5, 5% off all products on top of the discounts already. So that is a cool deal I've got you if anyone wants to buy one. I do like the product and do actually recommend it because I use this all the time. Let's go for DC on. So the fan goes on. Let's test it. So when I test it, it's about 13 degrees, the water temperature. So that is pretty good. Wait till the well was like 6 degrees. This will work so good. So as I promised, this was a free to run aircon system. Them solar panels were running at 200 watts, obviously in the sunlight. So we'll balance out half the day sunny, half the day night time. We can nearly run this 24 hours a day. So I have created a free to use aircon system. So we are in a bit of a mess in this room here. I have run out of time to fix anything about it, but obviously in a future video, new floor. I mean, I could dig down, potentially make another room, but that's a massive job. I don't need a lot of support to do that, but you know how to do that if you want me to do that. I half like the idea of buying one of them mini diggers off AliExpress. They're like £1,000 or something, Chinese things, and then putting it down, not taking it apart, building it back up down here and digging this out. But I might just create myself a load of work here. Let's just try and get this finished the best way possible so I'm ready for a party, because I want to finish the other end, sofa, projector, and we're going to have a party very soon. So see you all soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.